In the sometimes quiet and serious world of philosophy, few thinkers make as much noise as Slavoj Žižek. He is a Slovenian philosopher, a cultural critic, and a public intellectual who has captured the world's attention. He is known not just for his complex ideas, but also for his energetic, almost frantic style of speaking. He gestures wildly, his voice rises and falls, and he tells jokes that can be both funny and a little bit strange. This is not the calm, thoughtful philosopher we might imagine. Zizek is a performer, and his stage is the world of ideas. He wants to wake us up, to make us look at the world in a new and often uncomfortable way. Why should we pay attention to such a character? We might think that philosophy is a subject for old books and dusty university halls, but Zizek's work is deeply connected to our modern lives. He talks about the movies we watch, the coffee we drink, the news we consume, and the political anxieties that keep us up at night. He argues that the way we live our daily lives is full of hidden meanings and contradictions. By studying him, we are not just learning about abstract theories, we are invited to learn about ourselves and the society we inhabit. His goal is to give us the tools to see the world more clearly and critically. Zizek's influence comes from his unique ability to connect very different fields of thought. He brings together the deep psychological insights of psychoanalysis, particularly the work of Jacques Lacan, with the political and economic theories of Karl Marx. Then, he uses this powerful combination to analyze everything from Hollywood blockbusters to international politics. He might discuss a Batman movie to explain a political concept, or use a popular advertisement to reveal something profound about our economic system. This approach makes his ideas feel immediate and relevant, showing us that philosophy is not separate from our world, but is happening all around us, all the time. His work asks us to question the things we take for granted. We often believe we are free individuals making our own choices, but Zizek suggests that our desires and beliefs are shaped by powerful, invisible forces. He is important today because our world is more complex and confusing than ever. We are flooded with information, faced with global crises, and often feel powerless. Zizek doesn't offer easy answers or simple solutions. Instead, he offers a way of thinking that can help us navigate this confusion. He encourages us to be brave enough to think for ourselves and to question the very foundations of our reality. One of Zizek's most important ideas is his concept of ideology. This word can sound intimidating, as if it belongs only in political science textbooks, but Zizek explains it in a way that is surprisingly simple and personal. He asks us to imagine ideology not as a set of big political beliefs that we openly declare, but as the invisible glasses we wear every day. We don't even notice we have them on. These glasses shape how we see everything, what we consider normal, what we value, and what we believe to be true. Ideology is the background noise of our lives, the unspoken rules of the game we all play without even realizing it. Let us think of a simple example from daily life. Many of us enjoy buying a cup of coffee from a company that promises to donate a small portion of its profits to a good cause, like helping farmers or protecting the environment. This act makes us feel good. We feel like we are doing something positive for the world, while also enjoying our coffee. For Zizek, this is a perfect example of ideology at work. The act of charitable consumption allows us to continue participating in a global capitalist system, which may have its own problems, without feeling guilty. We focus on the small, positive act, and this distracts us from asking bigger, more difficult questions about the system itself. The media we consume is another powerful source of ideology. Think about a typical romantic comedy film. These movies often present a very specific idea about love, that it involves a dramatic chase, a perfect moment of realization, and a happy ending where the couple lives happily ever after. We know it's just a story, but these narratives repeat so often that they start to feel like the way love is supposed to be. This can shape our own expectations for our relationships, making us feel disappointed if our own love lives are not as dramatic or perfect. The ideology here is the hidden script about romance that we absorb without even thinking about it. Ultimately, Zizek argues that ideology is most powerful not when we are forced to believe something but when we believe we are acting freely. He famously said, "They know very well what they are doing, but still, they are doing it." We might know, intellectually, that a single purchase won't solve global poverty, or that a movie isn't real life. But we still participate. We still buy the coffee and dream of the perfect romance. Ideology works by making us comfortable with the contradictions of our world. It allows us to continue our lives without having to confront the uncomfortable truths that lie just beneath the surface of our everyday reality. To understand the hidden forces of ideology, Žižek turns to a field that is usually concerned with the individual mind psychoanalysis. This is the study of our unconscious desires, fears, and fantasies, most famously explored by Sigmund Freud and later Jacques Lacan. We might wonder what our private dreams have to do with global politics or the economy. For Žižek, the connection is essential. He suggests that society itself has a kind of unconscious. It has hidden desires and anxieties that drive its behavior, just as our own unconscious thoughts influence our personal choices in ways we don't always understand. Psychoanalysis teaches us that what we say we want is often not what we truly desire. Our actions are guided by deeper, often contradictory impulses. Žižek applies this idea to politics and culture. A society might publicly declare its commitment to values like freedom, equality, and environmental protection. However, its actions might reveal a different story. For example, a country might speak passionately about reducing pollution while simultaneously promoting policies that encourage mass consumption and industrial growth. This isn't just hypocrisy. For Žižek, it reveals a hidden social desire to enjoy the benefits of consumption, even if we know it is harmful. This psychoanalytic lens helps us make sense of strange or irrational political events. Why do people sometimes vote against their own economic interests? Why do societies become obsessed with certain threats while ignoring others that are far more dangerous? Žižek would argue that we need to look for the hidden enjoyment or fantasy that these behaviors provide. A politician might, for instance, focus public anger on a small group of immigrants. This may not solve any real economic problems, but it provides a simple story and a clear enemy, which can be psychologically satisfying for people who feel anxious and powerless in a complex world. The fantasy of a pure, unified nation is more emotionally powerful than a sober analysis of economic data. By using psychoanalysis, Žižek asks us to look beyond the surface of political statements and cultural trends. He wants us to ask, what is the hidden fantasy at play here? What unconscious desire is being satisfied? When we see a society obsessed with celebrity scandals, he might ask if this is a way to distract ourselves from our own anxieties about our ordinary lives. When we see a culture that endlessly promotes happiness and positivity, he might suggest this reveals a deep, underlying fear of sadness and failure. This approach gives us a new way to diagnose the health of our society, by listening not just to what it says, but to what its symptoms reveal. With his tools of ideology and psychoanalysis, Žižek offers a powerful critique of our contemporary world, particularly of global capitalism. He sees capitalism not just as an economic system, but as a total way of life that has seeped into every corner of our culture and our minds. He argues that today's capitalism is very clever. It has learned to absorb its own criticism. It sells us products that promise to be eco-friendly, anti-corporate, or authentic. We can buy a t-shirt with a revolutionary slogan, made in a factory on the other side of the world. This allows us to feel like we are resisting the system while we are, in fact, its perfect customers. One clear global example is the wellness industry. This multi-billion-dollar industry encourages us to focus on self-improvement, to meditate, to do yoga, to eat organic food, and to practice mindfulness. These are all, in themselves, wonderful activities. But Žižek would point out how this focus on the self can be a trap. It places the responsibility for happiness and dealing with stress entirely on the individual. If you are anxious or depressed, the solution is to download a meditation app or buy a new yoga mat. This prevents us from asking if the source of our stress might be external, related to job insecurity, economic pressure, or social inequality. The system that creates the stress also sells us the cure. In politics, Žižek is critical of what he sees as a false choice offered by many modern democracies. Often, the choice is between a center-right party that wants to manage capitalism with a little more efficiency, and a center-left party that wants to manage it with a little more compassion. For Žižek, neither choice truly challenges the fundamental logic of the system itself. He argues that this limited spectrum of debate creates political apathy and cynicism. People feel that their vote doesn't matter because the basic rules of the game never change. This can lead to the rise of populist figures who promise to smash the system, but who often only reinforce its worst aspects. In conclusion, Zizek's work is a challenging but vital guide to our times. He shows us how ideology shapes our reality, how hidden desires drive our societies, and how modern capitalism maintains its power in subtle ways. He does not give us comfortable answers or a simple path forward. Instead, he provides a powerful set of questions. He teaches us to be suspicious of easy solutions and to look for the contradictions that lie at the heart of our world. His ideas may feel unsettling, but they are also liberating. They give us the power to see the invisible forces that shape our lives. And so, we are left with a thought-provoking question. If we were to take off the ideological glasses that Zizek describes, what would we be brave enough to see differently about our own lives and our world?